So the next topic in the PLSQL is like as of now we are aware what is procedure, what is function.
Yeah.
So we'll just try to get a clarity on packages. Okay.
Yeah, procedure function class not over.
Hmm.
You haven't told about that.
We discussed, right?
No, we didn't discuss. We discussed about the cursors.
Acha. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's discuss from the procedure, function, and packages.
Yeah.
So in the PLSQL, these are the three. I mean, so I'll not consider package actually. Okay. So I'll consider only two particular programmable units. So as
Okay.
a developer, whenever you want to write any business logic, you can write either in the procedure or a function. Actually in the package you'll not find any business logic at all. Okay.
Hmm.
The package is just a packaging unit for the procedure or a function or a set of procedures or set
Yeah.
of functions. So package on
Okay.
its own will not have any business logic at all. So procedure, so see generally like if you consider other programming languages, in a Java, we have something called methods, right? We generally call it as methods. So method always takes an input parameter and always it should have an output parameter. So in the PL/SQL, it is divided into two things, procedure and function. So as per the PL/SQL definition, a function always has to return value. A function always should return a value. And procedure, in the procedure you cannot return any value, but there is a different way of retrieving a value. Okay, so it all depends upon how you want to define your business logic and how do you want to retrieve the value from your program. So like when we in which scenarios we have to use procedure or in which scenarios you have to use a function, it depends upon what is your target operation. Nothing but like from which particular programming unit you want to call it. Let us say if you want to do some if you want to do some calculation, so and if you want to display that particular output in a particular report or maybe using a SQL query in a OF page, then obviously it's a function. You have to use a function.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, we'll get to that. So the basic thing is, let's write a difference. It's a procedure and function. So I can just say these are the programming blocks. A programming block, the same thing. And no written parameter
Newton's parameter.
always has to written.
Okay.
Can be in okay, cannot be called from SQL statement, can be called from
Skill strip.
SQL statement.
Yeah.
Statement. Okay. Use it for business logic. Use it for calculation purpose. Okay. Any other difference? Okay. So this is a difference of a procedure and function.
Hmm.
Yeah. So let's design some samples in the procedure or function area. Okay. So this is like if you want to create a procedure, you require a DDL statement, right? To create a procedure or a function, you require a DDL statement. Okay. So what we do is, because we will be creating an object, right? That's the reason we need to use a DDL command. So let us just design one sample. Procedure one. Okay. I'll just say PROC1. Okay. Then we'll say procedure one.
Yeah.
The command is, or the DDL statement is, create or replace procedure. So generally this or replace is not required. If you're creating for the procedure for the first time, or replace is not required. We can try again. So create procedure and the procedure name. And here we have to mention the input parameters if you need to pass any parameter, or you can just ignore. It's not mandatory. Is begin followed by end. So this is a structure of your program. So generally this is what we have been discussing, like in the anonymous block concept. The only difference is, in the anonymous block you will not have create command. In the procedure or function you will have a create command, because here the object is getting created. That's the reason we require a DDL command here. And
Yes.
this particular program will have a block name. I mean, nothing but your procedure name,
Yeah.
right? Object name. Okay. I'll just write a simple dbms underscore output dot put underscore ln. Hello, procedure. That's it. Okay. F5. This will get this got compiled. And the next thing is if you want to invoke, what we have to do. So either you can use anonymous block or either you can use execute command exec followed by procedure name. That's it.
Procedure name.
Like this. Now it says that anonymous block completed and it displayed the output in our dbms output. Now
Yes.
observe again. So now let us say let us assume that like if you have modified your script, nothing but you want to add up some more business logic in this one. Procedure 2.
Hmm.
Now if try to compile now, just see the error. You see it says that name is already used. It is saying that name is already
Okay.
used by an existing object. So that's the reason what we
Okay.
always do is create or replace. We always use create or replace. And other important thing is, let us say if you are working in a project for the first time, and like your team leads has not mentioned what is the naming convention and all those things. Okay. So one more important thing is when you're creating any new object, always find out whether that particular object name is already available in your business inventory or not. I mean to say your meta directory or not. Let us say if
Yes.
somebody comes and if like generally it doesn't happen, but rare case, let us say if they are, if the other developer is also using the same name as the name which you mentioned, that's it, right? It will totally replace your block.
Yes.
That's the reason what we have to do. Always validate whether your object is already available or not. If available, what is the type of that? So this is a best practice always. So that is the reason never try to simply mention all underscore objects. Sorry, create or replace command.
Yeah.
Okay, very difficult thing. If you're not aware of the main name, just mention some different name so that it will not hit your real objects.
Yes. Yes. Right.
Yeah. So now this is very simple procedure. Now I'll take one more sample. Any other question?
Yeah. Continue.
Okay.
And one thing we will be like, from here we will be practicing on apps tables only, not EMPD EPD.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So now procedure two. Let us take this particular. Now we'll try to consider parameters now. So
Okay.
now here. So in the parameter things in the PLSQL, we have something called parameter mode also. Parameter mode. So now if you let us say if it is a Java, so I'll just start with Java. Assume that like you have a function string get length, okay, and string name return number. This is what you write in the Java. So but in the PLSQL, if you want to write the same way, what we have to do is you need to mention the data. Like of course it will be a little bit different, but here there is no parameter mode concept in Java. There is no parameter mode concept in Java. But in PLSQL, whenever we are passing any parameter to the either procedure or a function, we have three parameter modes: in, out, in and out. So are you aware of C language? C language pointers?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So if you're aware of C language pointers, it's nothing but you have three different things, right?
Call by value.
Yes, call by value and call by reference. Two things.
Call
Call
by
by
value.
value and call by
Yes.
reference. Nothing but you'll be using ampersand here so that it can replace the value in that particular location. So
Yes.
if you're passing some value and if you don't by default, actually in is a by default parameter mode, is a default one. If you don't mention any
Yeah.
parameter mode, it's a default one. And if you mention out, it means that you're expecting output value from that particular processor. So just now we discussed that like processor cannot return any output value, but this is quite different way of extracting the value from processor.
Yes.
Okay, and coming to in out is a combination of both. Either you can
Yeah.
consider that as an input and using the same variable you can get the output value also. So what we do is, so I'll just take one output parameter and one input parameter. Okay, as of now we'll just start with in name. Okay, let's have only one input parameter in
Hmm.
varchar to 100. This is my input parameter. Now what I want to do is I just want to calculate the length or maybe just a greeting message, simple. dbms underscore output dot put underscore line welcome e underscore inm.
Yeah. We have to call this. parameter.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Why it is showing like this? Okay, let's try to compile.
Hmm?
Okay, yeah, fine, got it. So here in the procedure, generally, like whenever we declare any variable of varchar, we always need to mention the size, right? But in the procedure,
Yeah.
when you declare varchar, you should never mention the size. It will not accept size. If you see, it is clearly showing the red color, right? Remove the size here.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm. Not about. Check compiler.
Okay. Got compiled. Now, how do we execute? We just need to pass one parameter, right?
Yeah.
We just need to pass one parameter. So just pass execute procedure. That's it, right? Now just see the difference, right?
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to PLSQL. So this is how you can pass the
Yes.
parameter. Now let's try one more sample. It seems very simple, but if you just clarity on these basic things, you can design any advanced
Yes. Yes.
program. Now what we want to do is we want to pass the person ID and
Hmm.
extract the person name. We want to pass
Name.
the yeah XXIF procedure 3. So we'll just pass person p underscore
ID.
I underscore PID number, and we want to get the value, right? We want to get the name from this one.
Value.
So this should be out. This should be out.
Out.
And in
Yeah.
actually by default it will be in, so it doesn't need to mention explicitly. Now what we have to
Okay.
do, we need to get the person name. Nothing but it is HRMS sample. So now here user is
Okay.
passing the person ID. We need to retrieve the value of the person name. Okay. So how do we get
Yes.
it? So what we can do is like either we have to use which type of cursor, implicit or explicit.
Implicit or explicit?
Which one we have to use here? Should we use a cursor or not? First of all, requirement is to
Hmm.
get the person name.
To get the person name,
Yeah,
we can use
we can use what?
explicit cursor.
What is the need of explicit here?
Retrieving. Hmm.
You understood the
Can you tell
requirement
me?
or not first?
Yeah, I got it. As you told that we are passing the parameter as a person ID, and we need to get the person name
Mm-hmm.
output.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the hints like.
Do we need to use cursor or not?
We use.
Do we need to use or not?
We have to use.
Yeah, we have to use, right? Without using cursor, you cannot get the value. And
Yeah.
for a given person ID, do you get multiple EMP names or single EMP name? At
For
any
EMP
cost,
name.
at any
Yeah.
cost, for a given person ID, do you get multiple employee names or a single EMP name?
Single EMP name for
Right?
one particular employee. Yeah, we'll having one particular employee ID only.
Yeah. So at any cost for a given person ID, you'll get only one employee name if it is a valid person ID. If you pass junk
Yeah.
person ID, simply it will not return any value, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll
Yeah.
just declare one temporary variable L underscore name varchar
Yeah.
2 of 150. So
Hmm.
in this scenario, I prefer to use this one, like implicit cursor. Why? Because it just retrieves only one record, right? So there is no need to use
One
any.
record.
Yeah, there is no need to use
Explicit.
explicit cursor. Select
Okay.
full underscore name from per people x, where person ID is equal to p underscore I underscore PID. Now here
Yeah.
full
Yes.
name into L underscore name, right?
Name. Yeah.
And L underscore name P underscore IN underscore name is equal to L underscore name. That's it. Okay. Now, yeah. So now there's a little bit tricky part here. The thing is, if your program is having out variables, if your procedure
Hmm.
is having out variables, the exec will not work. Execution of
Okay.
your procedure using exec command will not work. But how do you execute? You need to use anonymous block syntax.
Okay.
Whenever procedure or a function, if they have output parameter,
Out.
the normal way of
Huh?
execution will not work. You have to use anonymous block syntax only.
Begin. Yeah. And declare.
Okay. And one more important thing is when you are declaring variables of your, now in this case, we know that what is the length of a person name. So person name, it always depends upon your per people X, that particular full name column, right? So in the
Yeah.
idea, the best thing is if you are not aware of what is the size of your employee, the best thing is what you can do, per people X dot full underscore name percentile type.
Hmm.
This is the best thing to use actually. So you'll not face any
Yeah.
issue regarding sizes.
Yes. Okay. Percentage type.
Generally, that is the best like approach to use actually. And now
Okay.
underscore output dot underscore. Okay.
Hmm.
Any issue here? Yeah. Okay. This one.
Yeah.
Okay. So full name is, we got it right. Full name stock mismatch. Now let us say I'll pass a junk person ID. I'll just pass some particular person ID which is not available in my system. Minus 25. I don't have any
Hmm.
person ID with the minus 25. Let's see what is the output. Now what it is telling? Can you see?
No data found.
No data found, right? It's telling no data
Exception
found.
raised.
So now I
Yeah.
don't want to receive no data found. So because
Hmm.
like here as a business user, if you see no data found, what do you understand by that? You will not understand that, right? So for a business
Yeah.
user, what you have to do is you need to clearly mention what is the issue there. So your
Yeah.
program should not abrupt suddenly. You should not end up
Hmm.
you should not end up your program suddenly because of some issue. You need to gracefully end the program. So what we do is the
Yes.
best thing is here. So again, it all depends upon the requirement. Let us say if you get an error, what do you want to return? Now we are returning some value in L underscore name, right? So when you get an error, what value you want to return in the L underscore name, you have to get from your business. So what I prefer to do is if your program is unable to retrieve the value for the employee name, better return NA, not applicable or not available.
Hmm.
So it all depends upon the understanding between different business components or business logics. Exception when others then
Then.
P underscore IN underscore name, I'll just simply mention not found or not NA, whatever it is. Okay.
Hmm.
Now return. Now try to re-execute. Not found.
Yeah. Not found.
Okay.
Rather than being. Yeah.
So it went to exception block now. It went to exception block,
Yes.
and in the exception block we have assigned a value not found for our variable. That's the reason we are getting it. So the calling program, whenever it receives not found, it means that it could not it could not fetch the employee name for a given person ID. That's what it means.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the same way, we can go on expanding whatever the logic you have, like calculation. I mean, if performing DML statement, or okay. Last time we were discussing about the percentile, right? Number of row
Hmm.
count. Did you
Hmm.
try that? Did you try that? SQL percentile row count.
I tried uh, I tried, but in that total records are deleting, and when
Hmm.
I selecting that particular table, none of the record is showing.
No, what was the logic you implemented? So the requirement, like the logic which we thought of discussing was doing was. If you perform DML statement, how do you know that whether
Yeah.
your statement is correct or not? If it is correct, how many records it has updated or deleted? That's what we want to find, right?
Yeah.
So let's do that first. Okay. XXIF underscore. So I'll just create one dummy table called XXIF EMP, okay, which will have the data similar to our EMP table because I don't want to disturb the EMP table. Now I just have this data. Okay. Now let us say I will design a program which will delete all the employees who are in department number 10, but I want to know how many it has deleted because I don't want to write another query to find out that.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do that. Declare begin end. Right. So
Hmm.
delete from EMP where department number
Okay.
is equal to 10.
Hmm.
So what you do?
Then
L underscore is equal to
declaring the current number. Yeah. I did.
the C end is equal to SQL percentile row count.
Row count. Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
Yes.
Hmm.
Number of rows.
I use the extra one. Okay.
3. Right. Now we can validate. Now as of now I have not deleted, right? As of now I have not deleted because
Yeah.
I have not committed. So I'll just simply say
Yeah.
rollback. I'll just do a
Yeah.
rollback. Now try
Just
to
doing that
check
one.
out whether you have how many records, whether the value which was showing using your the SQL percentile was correct or not. You can just still validate, right? It has to be 3 records. That's it. The
Yes.
same thing you can apply for the update also.
Yes. Update also same.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so now we got some basic idea on the procedure, right? So let us do the function logic also. We'll just implement 2 or 3 programs in the function also. So the only difference is in the function you need to have the keyword as function and the return value also. Let us design a very simple a greeting message using a function. Create or replace XXIF greet fun. Okay, p underscore in underscore name varchar to return. What do you want to return? You need to mention data type. That's it. So here I have to mention
Yeah.
what is the object. I want to create a function, create or replace function name, parameters, and parameter actually it's not mandatory. It all depends upon what you want to implement. Greet fun is begin and end. Okay,
And
this is a function name.
yeah.
Now
Mm.
okay,
Hmm.
got compiled.
Yes.
So now how do you invoke the function?
Using
Using
written.
how do you invoke the function?
Yeah. Function.
Will this work? What is it telling?
Saying function is procedure is not undefined. Can declare.
So what we do? XXIF greet function name. So everything is
Hmm.
correct, right? It is correct, right?
Hmm.
Compile. And now here if I mention the same name, what it is telling? It's saying that undefined, right? Something. It is undefined.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
just see again. Okay, now see the difference. Now what is telling? So here
Reach here.
it 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 has provided the output. Can you see? It provided the output,
Yes.
but at last what it has meant, what it is giving, what it is actually what error it is giving? It's saying that A call to PLSQL completed, but no return statement executed,
Yes.
right? So
Hmm.
generally during compilation, it will not validate whether your program is returning value or not. During
Okay.
runtime, it will validate that whether your function is having a return value or not.
Not.
Okay. So the best thing
Yeah.
always what you do is always return a value.
Yeah. So yeah. There.
So return. We can better declare some message like this. We can just simply copy the same thing here. Okay.
Well message.
It got compiled. Now just see the difference. Right? No error now. It simply mentioned
Yeah.
anonymous block completed. But now where is your
Yeah.
output? Where is output? Actually, the thing which was getting displayed is not from your L underscore message, right? It's not from your output variable. It was just
Yeah.
simply the DBMS statement which you mentioned here, right?
Yes.
Now what we do? If you want to
It
validate the written value,
DBMS. From
right?
yes.
Now can you see from variable the same thing? Okay.
Yes.
Now the other
Yeah.
thing is this is one way of calling a function, right? This is one way of calling a function. So now is this function is having the out variables?
No.
Okay. So if your function is not having out variables, the easiest way of calling your function is using select statement. Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
Select from dual. That's it.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Yes. If it is having out parameter, then we can call from DL.
No, you cannot call. It will not
That's
work.
okay.
It will not
It
work.
will not work. Yeah. Yeah.
Now instead of dual, can I mention any table here? Will it work?
System items. Yeah. That many like. No, it will not work. Yeah, it will work.
It will work, right?
Yes.
Simple.
It
It
will
will
work.
work.
Yeah. How
And
many?
yeah, based on the number of rows which are there in your item inventory, that number of times it will get
That
executed,
executed. Yes. That
right?
many records will be fetched. Yeah.
So now let us say, how about this one,
uh, it will work.
right?
Segment one.
Hmm.
Uh, it's working. Yeah.
Yeah, it will work, right? Segment one is a
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
of the item table.
Yes. Yes. Part
That's
of
it.
item table.
That's KFF.
Yeah.
Item
Yeah.
number.
Okay.
Item number.
Item number. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now what we do is we'll see one more sample from the function. We'll
Hmm.
just try to have a out variable.
Yes.
Okay. So p underscore name. So I'll just take the different way. The same sample, the which we discussed just now. P underscore name, PID number, p underscore name, p underscore name. I'll just mention it as out. So for a function, we can have out plus return value also.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Select full underscore name into L underscore name from for people X where person underscore ID is equal to. Now the basic thing is like someone if you can ask me that like you're already returning a value using the out variable, right? Or I mean to say like
Yes.
your function is already having a written value. What is the need of out again? Your
Yeah.
function your function is capable enough to return one value. But what is the need of out variable here, right? In this particular logic, in this particular sample, there is no need to use out variable. But I
Oh,
just want to demonstrate how you can use it. Okay. In this, it is
hmm.
not at all required. But okay, what I will
Okay.
do is we'll try to enhance. Okay. If that is the case, I'll just try to show you a need. Okay. What I will do is
Hmm.
create a function, create a function and extract two values. I want to extract two values, not single value. So I want to retrieve
Yeah.
email ID of a person as well as the full name of a person. Now,
Yes.
there could be a number of ways, but this is one of the way where I'll try to follow. What I'll do is I'll declare
Okay.
one more variable, varchar2,
Email as a letter.
okay? And what is the column
Hmm.
name of email name actually? I forgot. Select star from email underscore address or yeah, email underscore
Email
address.
address. Yeah, email underscore address.
So now full name, comma, email
Email
underscore address
underscore address
into L underscore
into
name, comma,
L underscore email.
okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now what I'm doing, I using this function, I can return two values, right? L
Yes.
underscore name is equal to, sorry, P underscore in name is equal to L underscore name and return L underscore email, right?
Yes.
Okay, better name it as. Now what happens if you try to replace the same function? It will replace, simply it will replace.
It
That's it.
replace. Yeah, it will replace.
Okay, one
Hmm.
minute. It was not compiled properly. Okay, now it got compiled. So now this function is having out variable, right? So using select query, will it work?
No.
It will not work. Okay,
Yeah.
you have to use anonymous block. Declare, begin, end.
And in declare we have to declare one variable.
Yeah,
Nine. Two variables as we have used in the program. Yeah.
yeah. So L underscore name is a return value, and now PID I'll just pass 25. And what is a out variable? Out variable is email.
Email. Yeah. What is the difference between per people X and per people F table?
Mhm. Per people X will always return you only active employees.
Okay,
So
active employees.
yeah, per people F per people F will have the information about all the employees, whether the employee is active or not. If the resigned employee also you can see from the per people F. So
F.
per
Okay.
okay, that's only difference. So in general
Hmm.
requirement, you may need to use either per people F or per people X also. Let us say, like in some reports, you need to show all the employees, irrespective of whether they have resigned or not. Then you have to use per people F.
Hmm.
If some report is there
Okay.
that like you want to display only active employees, so directly you can use per people X.
Per people X. Okay.
You have this
Okay.
column, right? Start date active, end date active. So by just seeing that, you can
Yeah.
easily understand.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Started and ended. Effective started effective date, right?
Yeah, effective start date or effective end date.
Yeah. Ended. Yeah.
Right, got it. We got the.
Got it. Yes.
I think we got in opposite way. What we are returning is email. Huh? Okay. Okay. Out variable is name actually. Okay. Out variable is
Hmm.
name. Out variable is name. What we are returning is email. Okay.
Now it will be coming. Yes. Now perfect.
So this is what. And now here one more thing is, as of now we're just playing around with the simple data types. Simple data means. which can hold only one value of only of that type, particular type.
Yeah.
That's simple data type. We generally call it as simple data types. Okay. So now what we do is like so far clear with the function package procedure.
Yes.
The only thing you have to understand clearly is these parameter modes. You need to have very much clarity. In, out, in, out. So
Yeah.
generally in out is also used. We generally use in out also. Sometimes we use in and out. In is a common thing. Out is also common thing. In out we generally rare case we prefer to use it.
Okay.
Okay. In and just out are very frequently used parameter modes. Okay.
Okay.
And now it all depends upon the calling environment because PLSQL is a language. As a business user, I cannot understand what is the result you show it, right? Because I cannot execute a program going to SQL developer and find out the result. For the business user, he will just see the result in the UI. So now for a developer, now let us say if you want to do some logic in the OAF or maybe in the report, that is not capable enough to do any business logic, right? You need to call as a procedure, or maybe you need to write a PLSQL logic inside the inside your reports, or maybe inside the OAF Java stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it depends upon the calling environment, how they want to call it, and how they want to pass the values. And as a PLSQL developer, how do you want to design it? So it all there should be always an agreement because in some of the projects it may be a single developer or it can be different developers also. So
Yeah.
you'll say that okay, this is my procedure name. You just pass this particular parameter. I'll return this value. So you need to get into
Okay.
agreement when you are having a linkage between different components.
Components.
Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now coming to packages. So package,
Uh,
yeah, tell me.
like we will be having one more procedure for the in out.
In-out doesn't matter, like if you just see, technically you'll
Hmm.
not find much difference in the in-out. So I can show you that.
Yeah. Show me.
So I'll name it as 4. Okay. So now what I will do is, let us say I'll try to use in-out for this.
Hmm.
So I'll just say p underscore pnid name, and I'll just change this one to varchar. Okay. And now what I will do is pnid. So now here it will come into problem, right? So now here trying to
Okay.
validate this one, and also we are trying to assign also, right? What we
Yes.
can do is time being we'll just try to play around. I'll try to not to change the value first, and then I'll try to assign value here. Okay, for the same variable, I'm passing the value. Let's see how it works. How it works. Okay, now what it is telling cannot be used as an assignment target. So it is telling we cannot use it as an assignment target. So we declare? Sorry, we are not declared, right? It should be in.
No.
Okay,
Out. Yeah.
then it work, right? It got compiled, no issue. Now just invoke it. Declare, right?
Yeah.
Now what I'll do is I'll just assign p underscore name is equal to 25, right? So generally, like here in this logic, it will not have any issue with the data types because numbers or varchar generally will not have much issues. right? And what is telling? It got displayed, but it raised an exception, right? It's saying that uh, overflow limit.
Our variable is that only.
Sorry,
Name, in name.
come again.
Continue. Yeah, correct.
Okay, now just see the value of the emp name before and after. Sorry, here, right? Okay. So I assigned 25, right? Now this variable was holding 25 before it called the emp table, the function, and after calling our procedure, the value of emp name got changed to stockmsvat.
Yes.
So you understood the logic now, or
Yes.
so generally it deals to it, it makes confusion kind of thing, but that's a best thing is always have a very always have a different variables for the in and out.
Out.
Of course, this is also used in some scenarios. In most of your standard process will have this kind of logic also. So we have to know it actually.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, clear?
Yeah. Packages.
Yeah. Now getting into packages. So the simple thing is a package is a packaging unit for procedure or functions. A package can have n number of procedures or functions or both.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what is the limit of n, but that is what I know. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Now other thing is it's a building block and package will have two parts. One is specification and other one is body.
Its body.
Okay. So pack specification doesn't have any implementation. Body will have the implementation of procedures or functions. So what are the business
Yes.
logic if you want to write that has to be written in the procedure or a function. So that's the reason I was telling package on its own will not have any business logic.
Hmm.
Okay. So what we do is tomorrow we'll discuss about packages and we'll also discuss about the complex data types.
Okay.
Okay.
Complex data types. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Same timing, no? Then 9:30 tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Same time.